gag me, take me to the bunny ranch. People dying, kill me in the packing house. Even you have to.
Goonies! There you go. There you go. You didn't know what it was going to be. You knew he was going to deafen you with something. You didn't know it would be a shout out to your favorite 80s childhood romp.
Yeah, we were because we were talking Oswald Cobblepot.
That movie's really just about neglectful parents, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Indeed, from Oregon.
Yeah, from Oregon. There you go.
Yeah.
So, Oregon parents, step up your game.
Yeah, step up your game. Otherwise, you'll have Goonies.
Welcome to Bunny Ears. I'm Matt Cohen, joined by our illustrious host, as always,
Mr. Rabbity McDiggledoos.
Rabbity McDiggledoos. You might remember him from such films as The Firm and Sophie's Choice. We were speaking of Oswald Cobblepot a moment ago, famously otherwise known as the Penguin of Batman fame.
Indeed, you do.
And we thought this would be. We haven't talked really comics yet, have we?
Speaking of the
That
Penguin.
was a great transition.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at it.
Yeah.
We haven't really. We've hinted at comics. We've talked a little Alan Moore on this show. We've talked about our favorite books, but
Well, we talked with Kevin Smith. We
got into superheroes.
Yeah, we talked about Dark Claw.
Yeah, but we haven't really just done an entire episode dedicated to the art of comicery.
Yeah.
And we have a little help. From a man who's written a few comics now. Mm-hmm. His newest one we are holding in our hands. It is called The Brooklyn Gladiator.
We are holding in our hands.
Now we are both holding in our hands. I was the only one holding in my hand. And the pitch is, Brooklyn 2033. Mindless consumers buy more crust than pizza, more filter than cigarette. War rages at the doorstep of an oppressive regime that commoditizes complacency. John Miller wants out. He'll do anything to make it happen, even if it means rewriting history or reconstructing reality with his own two bloody hands. This man is also an actor of note. You know him from such films as Balls of Fury.
Yeah.
I was right about that one.
I know, yeah, you're nailing it.
Fanboys. Yeah.
Ah, that was such a
and
good
most
script.
recently, in like the biggest franchise of all time and the dopest, my favorite of the films, he's in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He's one of the Harry Potter folk now.
Yeah.
He's the chosen one. He's got a lightning scar tattoo branded on him as contractually obligated.
On his forehead.
He's a podcaster in his own right. He's a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Dan Fogler.
Dan Fogler, everybody.
Oh my God, here I am. What if I said Eddie Redmayne was like, he's a comic book writer. He was in Balls of Fury.
Everybody, Eddie Redmayne.
How's it going, man?
It's very nice to be here.
It's a pleasure. I loved your work in The Danish Girl.
Thank you.
What's up, dude?
Good, brother.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, man. It's all, this is Dan Fogler, by the way. It's not Eddie Redmayne.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, things are good. Just whirlwind trip here in LA.
Yeah, you're out promoting the new flick,
You
right?
do some
well,
cons and stuff.
Yeah, we did. Well, we did CinemaCon, which was like in Vegas, which is just a
Hashtag Venom trailer.
right. It was just like a fucking epileptic seizure about to happen.
It's just every superhero. Well, the thing with CinemaCon that I don't think a lot of people know about, it's not open to the public, that one, right? It's just for like vendors and movie theater owners, and they basically decide how many screens they want to put that movie on, next year.
Oh, it's like Show West or Show East kind of things that they used to be.
They've all become CinemaCon now, I believe.
Now they're all conventions. Yeah.
Did you still have
it was at Caesars in Vegas, so it was like fucking
Wow, classy.
One side was CinemaCon, and then the other side was just all ding, 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 boom, 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 ding, 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 ding,
sensory fucking overload.
Yeah, and it was insane.
Was it fun? Is it fun getting out there and doing so you've done a bunch of movies, but this has got to be a different level of promotion, right? Is it crazy doing like the world tours and the junkets and the foreign premieres and shit like that?
Yeah, it's like global insanity. Yeah, it's bigger than anything I've ever
What
done.
are the junkets like? I mean, like, how many interviews have you given in a day, like, for some of this kind of stuff?
Right. Yeah.
Ballpark it.
Let's say
20, 30, 50.
at least. I mean, yeah. I mean, like you could give let's say, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and like that kind
Just
of thing.
nonstop, 10 minutes each over and over and over saying the same shit.
Interviewer,
because you're sitting in the chair and they keep rotating people into that chair with the black backdrop and the whole kind of works.
Yeah.
Like, with the poster
Interviewer
behind
number
you.
34 is fucked just by virtue of the fact that, like, what question could he ask that's left field that's not completely inappropriate?
And the actors are so loopy, just like cooking under the lights, and they're just like, I don't know if I've even answered this question yet, or if I said it already 5 seconds ago. I'm totally in a blur.
I would do
And
shit
you think
just
about the last time you stood up because you
Yeah.
were sitting in the same chair and they're bringing people in there. Like,
Yeah.
I would do shit just to throw people off. Be like, favorite serial killer and why? Go.
That
And you
would
know
be
what I mean?
fun.
Just to snap you out of it a little
That
bit.
would be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know, you have people.
do you
that
want to
come
thumb
in there.
wrestle?
Draw your nightmare on this piece of paper. Do you want to thumb wrestle?
Just Rorschach test.
Exactly.
That would be fucking interesting.
See, and you remember that. Like,
Yeah.
no, these guys, they ask the same fucking questions all the time. And like, do you do your best to kind of like mix it up?
I do.
Okay.
I try to make myself laugh and throw impressions in there and shit.
I know, like I've always kind of like been that kind of thing where it's like I'm going to tell you the same answer I told the last 5 guys, and so
Oh
like
my
all
God.
of this
'Cause
stuff.
you're a jerk.
It's Daniel Radcliffe like kind of wearing the same outfit for a year,
Right.
You know, yeah, and kind of just like cool. Like none of you paparazzi have a new picture because like yeah, and so
You should give a drastically different answer every time someone asks you the same question. And so, like, you recently told Ellen that you don't like giving the Home Alone face. Next time someone interviews you, be like, I love
Absolutely,
I
I
love
love
giving
it.
it. I do it just so there's
just not right now.
just so no one can ever know what's really up, man. Just keep people on their fucking toes.
yeah, just mix it up.
Speaking of doing like worldwide crazy junkets for billion-dollar movie franchises, you've also done press for fucking comic books, which is
I was just about to
from
say
the
there
highest
you go.
high to the lowest low, right? Because I've done some con stuff, and this isn't Brooklyn Gladiator's not your first book, right? By any means, you've also done Moonlake, 2 Moonlakes at this
Yeah,
point.
2 Moonlakes, yeah.
Yeah, and Moonlake, Moonlake was top. Who put out Moonlake?
Archaea.
Archaea, that's right. And Moonlake's like an awesome horror anthology.
Yeah, it's like Twilight Zone on THC.
Yeah,
basically.
that's a good way to describe it. And also, I got a fucking dope, scary bear shirt out of it.
Yeah.
That fucking bear shirt's the
Werebear.
best. Yeah, Werebear.
Yeah.
Werebear's awesome. What? So, did you grow up huge into comic books, like as a little kid?
Yeah, I love comic books and toys and G.I. Joes and Transformers and cartoons and all that. I mean, I just marinated in all that.
Were you an Marvel or DC guy?
That's a good question. I was kind of equal opportunity, but I guess I would. I guess
If you had to lean.
if I had to lean toward like any time, like I was a sucker like for any time. Well, the thing was, Todd McFarlane was doing
Spawn,
Marvel.
right? Yeah.
You know,
Oh, he was doing Marvel at that
yeah,
point.
so Incredible
the
Hulk
Spider-Man.
and Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep,
So
yep.
if I had to choose, and then when he transitioned over to Spawn, of course, to follow him. So I was right in the middle of that. And
Yeah, you know how much your Image, comics Spawn #1 is worth?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's like pennies on the dollar.
Is
Like,
it?
Oh yeah,
Wildstorm.
because he made so many of them.
Right.
That was the whole thing. #1.
and also like those different like gold and silver variant
That's
Amazing
when
Spider-Man.
I kinda got in, with all the
Yeah.
different variant covers.
Yeah.
So
Were you
so
Marvel?
Marvel-ish? It seems like.
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean, I fucking love the Joker. He's like my favorite bad guy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
listen.
that's funny. I was just gonna say. So I think a lot of little kids share this, or at least in our age range. I was huge Marvel only as a little kid. It's all I knew, except for Batman, which I also fucking loved. I feel like Batman is always the rule to the exception to the rule for hardcore Marvel fans.
Batman animated series was just
the
fucking
best thing ever, and just
groundbreaking.
the
I
Joker
love
in
that they start with a
general.
black background and drew on top of that as opposed to a white background.
Because think about
that
it.
was their whole thing.
Kids these
Loves-
days, kids these days have 3 superhero movies a month to go see. Basically, back then we just had the Batman, Tim Burton ones. So
Yeah.
like Batman was
comics themselves.
and the comics, So I love me some Batman alongside some Marvel. Were
back
you,
in my day,
you used to buy comic books at the comic book store.
I used to play Superman 64.
Were you a Marvel or a DC guy, man?
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, full Marvel. That's why I'm actually really excited about everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
The cinematic universe.
They're just knocking it out of the park.
We're seeing Avengers in like
This will be a little dated, but
a couple hours. Like,
you
I mean, like-
Ooh,
have you seen it yet?
I haven't, and I want to see it in 4DX.
so who died?
What?
Who died?
He
Who do you think
hasn't
who
seen it.
died?
Who do you
haven't
think
seen
dies?
it.
No, I know.
If we had
I
to
know.
guess.
I'm
We're
just saying.
guessing.
Yeah,
Hawkeye.
who died?
I'm pretty sure that the
Vision?
the Vision's toast.
Yeah, Vision.
I'll go
Toast.
Vision
He's
and
getting his-
Hawkeye.
Yeah, it looks like wait, doesn't Cap die? He's supposed to die, right? At the end.
I don't know.
If
What's
he
your
does-
guess? What's your guess?
I
You know?
think so. He's
If
gonna
he dies,
fucking
Matt-
crush his
Where's-
hands
where-
into his face.
Where's the Soul Stone? Where's the Soul Stone?
Who was your
I
first?
think James Brown has a soul stone.
Touche, sir.
It's still being paraded around with his corpse. Do you remember they didn't bury him for like 2 years after he died? There was a
Who, the
legal,
Soul Stone?
there was a legal dispute. No, James Brown for real.
Gotcha.
There was same thing happened with Casey Kasem. There was a legal dispute, and they just never buried his body for like 2 years. It kept flipping back and forth from family member to family member.
Yikes.
He
Was
really
it
is
like
the
Lenin's
hardest working
tomb?
man in show business.
It was like Lenin's tomb.
So we're all Marvel people. Do you remember the first character like that got you into it? Like the first superhero.
Yeah.
You do? You remember your first superhero?
I mean, in Marvel?
Yeah,
Or
what
just
popped
in
your
general,
cherry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime fucking Wolverine would fight the Punisher, basically, I was just like, yay. And of course, Amazing Spider-Man. Like, that was my shit.
Mackie.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, like what?
Who was your superhero, man? Who got you into it? Are you?
Who's my gateway
Yeah,
superhero?
absolutely.
Well, I've talked about this before, where it's those Marvel cards.
Yes,
It was
the
like kind of a
top
general
cards, the
kind of
ultra-
thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was kind of. I had a soft spot for Thor.
Okay.
Always
Nice.
big, blonde, hammer.
Just like you.
Yeah, just like
All
me.
three of those things.
Yeah. Hey, here's my hammer.
Holy shit,
He just got bigger. He just got bigger.
That is big, man.
And he's already kind of blonde.
Yeah, check that out.
So Thor was your
yeah,
guy?
I liked Thor. I liked Iron Man. I liked his ingenuity. I liked the fact that he was rich. It's like if I was a superhero, I would just be Iron Man, quit being Iron Man, and just be rich the rest of the time.
Right.
Yeah, so,
He's like he's the Batman of the Marvel.
yeah. I'd just be Elon Musk, except with less space.
Less ideas.
Less ideas.
Less ideas, less space.
Yeah, and more just like
Just like hanging out with Amber Heard.
exactly. More, just more
chilling.
more like playing video games and
And a large Scrooge McDuck tank of money that is swimming.
I am Tony Stark.
Much like Dan, my first guys were all like fucking dark, brooding anti-hero. Of
course they
so
were.
it was. I was
Do you like Lobo?
anything Punisher.
Fuck yes.
Anything Venom. I was anything Punisher, anything Venom, or anything Ghost Rider. So when the three of them teamed up in Funeral Pyre, I got puberty like 8 years before I got puberty. You know what I mean?
You pubertied all
Yeah.
over the magazine.
Well, because that's what DC. Yeah. Oh yeah. I like that you call comics magazines.
Yeah, they're magazines.
magazine books.
Yeah. Illustrated magazines.
And that was the thing at the time, right? DC to me was like Superman and being a good guy and like cheese dick shit, and Marvel was like, "Fuck you, we're having blood orgies with the X-Men." Yeah. You know, so
it's like Dark Daredevil.
yeah. So I was definitely a Marvel guy first. Did you guys were you heavy comic book readers as teenagers and kids? Like, were you Wednesday Warriors, as it were?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, my grandmother got us into it because she appreciated the fact that we read.
Yeah, reading,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So we would show up every Saturday, and there'd be a new stack of comic books there waiting for us.
You're a New York guy.
Yeah.
What store was your local shop growing up?
So on birthdays was really special. My aunt would take us to Forbidden Planet. And
Nice.
I still go there
In
today.
Union Square, yeah.
Yeah, and it's changed location, but it's always been in that
but
same
yeah,
It
area.
moved one corner over.
Yeah, and I just that's what I grew up with, and man, I have so many great memories going to Ray's Pizza, the original on 11th and 6th doesn't exist there anymore.
Yeah.
Getting that delicious pizza, and then fucking buying hella GI Joes.
Walking due east.
Yeah. And man, those such lovely memories of that, and I still go to Forbidden Planet. I just did a signing there
That's awesome. Yeah. I worked there for a
For
minute.
what?
for Brooklyn Gladiator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, what's Brooklyn Gladiator?
It's the reason we're here.
Oh, goodness. This thing in my hand, you mean?
Look at that.
Look
We'll
at
get
that.
to it.
Look at that.
We're pinching the tip right now. Also with oh shit, you got a fucking forward by Ernie Klein.
Yes.
Man. Mac, will you write a retroactive forward for my comic book that I could put on
course he will.
on a piece of loose leaf paper and slip in?
My forward
No.
is fucking Kevin Smith.
Oh, do you have
gentlemen.
Kevin too? Oh shit,
Oh,
the
there you
blurb is
go.
fucking Ernie Klein. The forward is
Kevin
good old
Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Who
That's
wrote
awesome.
who wrote the introduction?
It must be me.
Oh, wait, you did. Oh, that's weird.
Dan Fogler?
Everybody's up in here. Everybody's
Wait,
up in
Who's
here.
this Dan Fogler guy we keep talking about?
I don't know. He's just, I hear he's doing good things.
I hear he's doing great things in the
He's a
comic book world.
nice boy.
Mac, when you were the world's most famous boy, were you reading comics and shit? Did you have time? Were people
I
buying
did.
you comics?
I was not a Wednesday warrior.
Sure.
But at the same time, I went out there. And, I mean, we were in the dark ages a little bit. I mean, it was the Liefeld the world and things like that. I mean, it really did.
Yeah, I mean,
Jim Lee was cool. Like like there were certain kind of
X-Men #1.
yeah. Oh, you mean the highest selling comic of all time?
Oh, I still have mine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know, and that's actually
my
worth,
Magneto
That's worth
hologram.
about 2 pennies. Also,
yeah.
by the way,
Oh, yeah, comics are not worth much.
Yeah, but it's a #1. It must be worth something. Yeah. No, I would. Like, yeah, I followed the I joined this world in the Infinity Gauntlet kind of area, but I jump in about halfway through, so like issue 6
Infinite War,
kind of thing. Like when it came to all the tie-ins and so forth. So it was like issue 4.
I just realized.
So that's where I was at.
Did you have a local store you went to in Manhattan? Or?
No, I was more on the road.
Okay.
Like back then, so I really did have to like talk to a Teamster, and then he would drive me there, kind of.
Or they
thing.
used to have them in
so
like
in Chicago, it's like I don't know where to go or whatever, and
stationary
they would
stores.
ask around.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of like stationary stores
because there weren't a lot of specialty shops.
Long
everywhere.
Island had one comic book store, and like when I was really little, there was a comic book store that I see like
in Jericho.
It was in Plainview, which is the next town over.
That's what I thought.
So
Comic stores back then aren't the family-friendly stores you have today.
No, they were shady.
Dark and fucking boxes, and you had to be hunched over.
My mom was always weirded out by the dudes.
Yeah, full of hunchbacks.
But I just realized, guys, I'm doing my mom a disservice. So actually, like while I was into Marvel comics, from the earliest age I can remember, I was on fucking Archie and Harvey comics because my mom to this day I'll still find like a Betty and Veronica double digest in her purse, and I'll be like, "What are you doing?"
It's better than a bottle of ranch dressing.
It
I
is.
guess.
So I was also huge on like Hot Stuff and Casper and Richie Rich. Like I read all that shit as a kid. Like, yeah, which made a big impact on my life. But I didn't become a Wednesday warrior until I discovered Hellboy. And I was like 18 years old. And
There's a Hellboy in here somewhere.
There's a lot of Hellboys everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know what an indie comic was. I'd never read a fucking anything other than a Marvel or a DC book in my life.
Yeah.
And I discovered this entire world of comic books. And then I started working in comic book stores. And
I was gonna say, didn't you work at Forbidden Planet?
I worked at Forbidden Planet. I worked at Midtown. I worked at St. Mark's
Really?
Comics. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then when I got out
Probably
to
crossed paths over the years.
I'm sure we did, dude. And then we also crossed paths.
I'm pretty sure you were a jerk.
Probably.
Out of my way!
Get out of my way!
Give me all the #1s this week.
I'm just here for the ones.
And then we also crossed paths years ago. I used to Golden Apple used to sponsor my old podcast, and Dan was a guest on it that we did live at Golden Apple Comics, and that was the best. Now I feel like the statute of limitations is up, so they didn't give me any money for my sponsorship, but they would let me come into the store every week, take whatever comics I want, read them, and bring them back.
What?
So I was pulling like 40 books a week, man, and then I had to go cold turkey because I wound up.
And this is before you had a scanner.
It is no. I'd say
Just like bring them home and scan them.
I'd
and
say
then
from the
bring them
age
back.
of 19 to let's say 19 to 27, I was reading like every single book DC put out a week. Every
It was
single
your library.
It was my life, dude. And then one day I woke up next to a stack of like 40 Supergirls deep, and I was like, I gotta get out.
Wow.
And I quit cold turkey, and now I catch up on occasional stuff, but like I'm not an active comic reader.
Supergirl is better than like I don't know, like Hawk Girl.
Hey, man, leave
I
her
got hooked
alone.
up on Hawk Girl, and that's it.
Hawkgirl's kind of hot, though.
I know, but also she's no.
Supergirl.
She is no
she's no
Supergirl.
Power
They're
Girl.
all pretty hot
Yeah.
guys. Power Girl was always a little too muscular for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
That's your type?
either one that would beat the shit out of us. So
All
isn't
of
that
them
great?
would beat the shit out of us.
Yeah, but
Dazzler.
isn't that the appeal?
You go Dazzler.
Dazzler, right
Emma
away.
Frost is my lady. We've talked
Whoa.
about this a little bit.
Yes.
I get the Dazzler.
She's
though,
just
man.
walking around in Victoria's Secret shit all the
Fucking,
time.
just mean to me all the time in the way I
Yeah.
want.
Early '90s Rogue was fucking like
Yeah. But she'd have to do everything with gloves, so.
I know it'd be great.
Mac's a germaphobe.
Don't
so-
touch me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Mac's a germaphobe guy, so we never. Were you guys ever so? Other than being Wednesday Warriors, were you ever comic book collectors? Did you ever specifically seek out certain types of runs or certain books? You shook your head. Were you a collector?
Yeah, I got boxes of
Yeah.
them, and still, like, I collected all the way up until college. and just storage.
So like last year.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you.
He just went back.
Check my ID, mister. All the way through college, and then when I had to start paying rent and shit, like I had to like sell my.
To sell a bunch of comics.
Yeah,
You sold all of them? Yeah.
No, I sold a bunch of them. It was really sad.
What were your collections though? Like I mean,
What
like
were your-
Infinity Crisis or
What do you
whatever.
remember
Shitloads of
collecting?
X-Men,
Yeah, X-Men.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, X-Men, Incredible Hulk, Punisher, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But you have like event comics, like Secret Wars. Like did
Right,
did you
yeah.
have those?
I came in the Secret Wars time, I guess.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Crossover
yeah,
events. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like did you ever like collect like the events ones?
Yeah.
like the original Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah,
Like
I was.
Thanos Quest.
Crisis. I believe
I
it's-
was down with the whole Beyonder thing. That was so weird.
That's
to
yes.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
love
think-
that one issue where the Hulk is just holding up a mountain and everybody.
Yes.
classic.
That
issue.
was the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Is that all of a sudden
literally.
a mountain was thrown at
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
and that's you think everyone's dead, and it begins with just Hulk holding up a mountain, just like
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer I can hold this for.
my real introduction, my first thing that I ever picked off the shelf was Heavy Metal magazine. 'Cause
Nice.
I was like 10.
Yeah.
And it was oversized, and I was like, "What's that?" and I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah,
is a
for a
lot of
10-year-old fucking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Explains
Just
a lot.
naked demon chicks.
yeah, right. And I was
Hey,
just-
mom and dad, buy me this.
Yeah, basically, I was just reading my brothers, and then I was like, "Wow, this is," and then I saw the movie.
The animated movie. Yeah.
And that was the end. That just blew my mind. I
That's awesome, man.
was hooked.
Were you ever a collector, Mac?
Not really. No.
You never sought out.
Honestly, again, it was the Dark Ages. So,
Sure.
like, I mean, like, yeah, everything was like being put into like these plastic folders,
bagged and boarded.
Yeah,
bitch.
you got special cards and all that kind of stuff, and no, I mean,
Well, it went a
like,
little.
just-
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like for the major Marvel books, I think there's like 6 or 7 variant covers for each one.
Yeah,
And
it's
they have
like-
the sketch covers where they're like, bring it to a convention and have someone draw you a cover. I was huge, so I never got like massive into collecting. I had a storage unit get broken into, but luckily they only stole new books. So I still have about like 20 long boxes in my garage,
Wow.
which is my collection, And I got like, I was trying to do an Uncanny run from 141, so I was trying to do like all the X-Men books. I was big into first appearances.
Yeah.
So I had like the first appearance of Gambit, the first appearance of Deadpool.
I was about to say
All my
Deadpool.
favorite characters.
New Mutants.
I have that. It's over. It's a
I know.
prestige edition. That
Oh,
one.
look at you.
Well, that's Warlock too, because I love Warlock's my favorite New Mutant. But I was big into.
No, Warlock.
Yeah, Warlock's like the robot guy from
Yep.
outer space. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's got like a disease, right? He gives the tech
He's a
disease.
techno,
black,
yeah.
black and yellow.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like squiggly
Yeah,
lines
yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And then like I got really, and this will be a good transition. Then I got really into like Alan Moore. Once I started reading books again, I was like, all right, I started because when I read it as a kid, you never paid attention to who wrote or drew them. And then I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I love Alan Moore. I love Mike Mignola.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start seeking out everything these dudes have done. So I was
Yeah.
buying like. I have all original
Swamp
4
Thing?
issues of Rocket. I've got his Swamp Thing run. I've got the Rocket Raccoon run
Nice.
that Mignola drew. Like, and then it became
Captain Britain. Do you have any of that?
I do,
Yeah.
yeah.
The black and whites.
Totally.
X Factor, right? When he was
No, you had the black and white ones where it was.
Alan Moore.
It was Marvel UK, and they're black and
Wow.
white. Like Mad Jim Jaspers and the whole kind of thing.
Wow,
Yeah. It's pretty rad.
Like Alan Moore changed my shit in a big way. That was my first
Yeah.
introduction to like, oh, comics can be more than just superhero books, right? Were you too, man?
Yeah. I mean, Watchmen was just like, holy shit. This
I know
is
it's
so
almost
complex.
like the easy answer
It's
in a funny
unfair.
way.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I guess so, but like,
but it's a gateway, man.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
book alone, it's sort of like the fucking like Kubrick of
Yes,
books,
100%.
You know, because it's a rabbit hole. You just go down and
And you find new things
And
every
it's
time.
a parody of comics, and it's like trolling comic books in itself while also being a fucking comic book.
Not only is it's just like irreverent, and it has the balls to create its own like timeless characters with their own history, even more interesting than the in
ones they were
parallel.
parodying.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
You know, so and then it delves into the whole conspiracy world, which he has gone into with the
And from
League
Hell.
of Extraordinary
and
Gentlemen.
From Hell a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just fascinating to me.
That big bearded dude, hermit dude, is a conspiracy theorist? No way. What are the odds?
Yeah, exactly. He has conspiracy theorists living in his beard.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, I was like taking. I was
He's
literally.
a walking 9/11
I was
conspiracy
hitting, I
theory
was hitting this
waiting to
bubbler
happen.
and being like, "How can I get a beard reference? What's the best? Is the Lindbergh baby in his beard?" I was like, "Can't think of a conspiracy theory quick enough. Something's in that fucking beard."
Yeah, I mean, like,
Whoa.
his beard cannot melt steel beams.
Guys, there's a fucking anthology series there.
What's in Alan Moore's beard?
Yeah,
Let's
and you
team
like
up
you
for
just
it,
like
man.
you microscope down into his beard and then
You
like
travel further down the line into the beard.
His beard is just Alex Jones, but with hair.
It's Alex Jones upside. Someone's holding Alex Jones upside down. Yeah. No, man, Alan Moore blew my mind. We've talked about Alan Moore before.
Yes.
Preacher was fucking huge for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Like one of my favorite comic books. Have you gotten into Preacher yet?
No, I haven't.
And the
Did I watch the movie? I'm not sure.
TV show.
No, I haven't.
No, I'm kidding. Have I?
I don't know if you have. Have you watched a TV show yet?
I haven't.
Oh,
no.
dude, it's fucking amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's maybe my favorite comic book adaptation.
Really?
Because it's different enough that like you can't get mad at it for things it changes, but it's so fucking cool and it.
Yeah.
Let's say MCU in general. Like they
an
change
extent,
stuff, and
yeah.
I can't get mad at the way they change it.
It's
They
just,
change it well. Like, I think.
Yeah, if it's tasteful.
And it gives me a lot of. It gives me a lot of.
Oh, so you have
yeah,
feelings,
exactly.
don't you? You have feelings,
I
don't
do
you?
have feelings.
Yeah.
deep
If
down.
they change it tastefully. Well, the cool thing about Preacher for me too is it gives me a lot of hope because Rogan and Goldberg are also developing The Boys and
yeah.
Invincible,
The Boys, yeah.
which are two of my other favorite comics.
Invincible's awesome.
Invincible's
too.
fucking
Both
awesome.
of those are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double back.
Do it.
What are your feelings about the MCU and
Yeah.
how they've changed the source material?
Oh, well, name something that they've changed.
Yeah, what's
that I should be
glaring in
upset about.
MCU? I don't.
Okay, I mean, Vision picking up Thor's hammer.
That he's worthy. Of,
Yeah, or even
yeah.
I mean, his crystal is the Mind Stone.
Right. right.
I mean,
I
like,
didn't
yeah,
even
that's what I mean.
catch
It
that.
seemed like you actually had like some feelings, but I might be way off.
I think that no, the idea that I'm incredibly forgiving simply for the stuff that they're able to fucking pull
Yes,
off.
I agree.
Yeah,
where I'm just like,
that's
oh
what I
my,
mean. I forgive it.
just the airport scene in
Civil War?
I,
Yeah.
I was
Where-
up at 2 a.m. this morning watching that.
right?
Yes, that's
And
how much I
doesn't
love
that-
it.
When
doesn't that
Spider-Man fucking comes
right,
in,
and he's acting like Spider-Man.
Yep.
And he's and he's working. He's funny. It's not like
They
oh,
all.
It's the best Spider-Man
Well,
so
that's,
far.
Yeah.
that's what they do, right? They all seem like themselves.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
And they look and they
look
like
like
themselves,
themselves, and they
it's
act like
it's as
themselves.
if it's that. It's what it does for me is when I had all of those figures, playing with them, setting them up in my room when I was a kid, and imagining them doing all that. They have somehow made them become alive
'Cause they're true-
before my eyes.
Because they're true to the characters. So if they change the source material, the story, and they deviate from it, you're
don't
okay
give a
with
shit.
it.
You feel like you're in
because
good
you feel
hands.
like they're actually like exactly. They're
Well-
actually like they're telling the characters correctly. I mean, like the fact that like. Where's Adam Warlock in this whole thing? Yes, I know they're setting it up, but at the same
Somewhere
time,
in outer space.
But also at the same time, like he's a hugely important part of this whole Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War,
Sure.
like kind of thing. Even the fact they changed the names, like how do you feel about that? Like as a comic book nerd, kind of.
Yeah.
But
There's also what they were talking about Star Fox recently, who's like the brother of
Of Star-Lord?
no, Thanos.
Oh, his name is-
What's his name?
Thanos' brother?
I know. I'm
Foxstar or something.
yeah, no, I
Looking
know.
it up.
He's basically based on Eros, who's
Er-
the
Arrow,
god,
yeah,
god of
Eros.
love, who loves to fuck.
Starfire, no,
Star
Starfire.
Fox.
Star
Yeah, you were
Fox,
right.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
I thought you meant Fox McCloud. And I was like,
I
yo.
was thinking the
No.
Nintendo 64.
I was
game.
like, did they figure out? That's me too. And I was like, did they figure out a way to get the rights to the fucking Star Fox characters into the Avengers? Because I want that more than
'Cause I want
any.
that, yeah.
I want that
That's
frog and that
hilarious.
rabbit.
yeah, do a barrel roll,
Falcor. Yeah.
You want that more than the X-Men.
Oh my God, yeah.
What am I smoking here today, gentlemen?
We are smoking.
What do you spot?
It's sativa.
It's in a jar.
It's out of a jar and it's a sativa.
Perfect.
Yeah, that works, right? It's for the brain.
Yeah, well, on my show, the Dan Fogler 40 Experience, I like to, like, if I'm smoking something, I say,
If
what
you
are we
shout out what the
what are
strain
we
is.
sponsored by today? what is our brain juice today?
Marijuana.
Yeah,
We're sponsored by. I bought it in bulk, so I don't even remember what strain it was.
exactly. That's fine.
This is brought to you by a gift.
Yes,
A gift from a friend.
it's green and crunchy.
It was green.
Good.
and it was a gift. I didn't ask any questions.
Exactly. Someone was like,
Shut
"Hey,
up
take
and
this."
smoke.
Someone gave me a jar, and I said, okay.
Going back to Marvel though, right? Check this. Here's what the other thing they get right is while they're not as precious with the characters, they also they don't cast only movie stars. They create fucking movie stars, and they don't pick directors.
They cast the right people.
In terms of crew and on-screen talent, right? They were like, instead of us going for fucking the biggest name in the world, let's get a dude you've never
find the
heard
right
of
people.
and make him fucking
Well, I'm
awesome.
surprised at how many Oscar winners they've gotten to
At
do
this
their
point,
stuff.
they have a lot, right?
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
How many can we name?
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can do this. How many Oscar winners are up in the MCU?
Okay, Kate Blanchett.
God damn it. Kenneth Branagh.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Jeremy Renner.
I wish. No.
You-
Wait, didn't he win?
you wish.
He won an Academy
No,
Award.
he didn't.
No,
His
he-
movie won an Academy
Which
Award.
Oh, I
one?
thought he won
Winterbone,
for,
Winterbone or
the one where he.
No, The Hurt Locker. No, he didn't win for that.
Oh, I thought he did.
No. Catherine Bigelow did.
Oh yeah. No, I mean
Yeah.
it's crazy who they have.
Natalie
like,
Portman.
Natalie.
Wait,
Did
she's
she win
not
an
in the
Oscar?
movie.
She's in Thor.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
she
She's in the
first two
and she
Thors.
won Black Swan. Yeah,
Good
she is in
man.
the first two.
And
Yeah,
Thors.
she's
she
in
won
the
for Black Swan. Look
Did
at
Kat Denning win an Oscar yet?
Not yet.
All
Not
right.
yet. Caveat on the yet.
Jeremy Irons, I feel like maybe.
No. Ha yeah.
Is he in it?
No.
Fassbender, did he win something?
No.
He's been
No.
nominated.
He just.
and
he
he's
just,
also not in the
He
MCU.
just carries himself as if
Right,
he's
like
an
he
Oscar
did
winner.
win one.
Yes.
I was born with one.
I was born with a.
Well, that's funny.
With a golden Oscar in my ass.
Fassbender actually isn't been in the MCU yet because he's in the X-Men movies, right?
Oh.
And that's a good-
Middleston, though.
Here's a
You
good
got-
question, though, right? So we got Spidey recently back into the fold.
Yeah.
Who do you want out of all the characters that Marvel still doesn't own? Who would you want back in the cinematic mix? So you've got all.
I mean, besides the X-Men in general.
You've got Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
You've got Ghost Rider.
Namor.
Namor. They can't do Galactus.
Well, I mean, they can't
Silver
do the
Surfer.
other ones we just
Oh.
named. Well, I'm just saying. It's like, so you're
I'm
asking
saying, yeah. Who do
we
you
want?
Who do you want the most? If you could draft pick someone,
Dr. Doom. Absolutely.
Doom over Wolvie.
Yes, absolutely. They need a big bad. They need a cool big bad that you can actually play with for more than one movie. Dr. Doom is like the best, like, kind of villain. Like, you
Does he
you need
work
that.
without the Fantastic Four?
Yes, absolutely.
You think so? I do too, actually.
No,
That's not a bad
he's
one.
great. Look at he would be like number one pick for me.
Man, I still think Wolverine. Can you imagine if Wolverine was in the new Avengers movie?
Yeah.
I know. I much rather stack the villains at this
You're
point.
thinking smart. I'm thinking fan service. Like,
Yeah, but even Dr. Doom would be freaking
Dr. Doom would be
cool.
pretty fucking
Because
great.
he's one of those guys who like pontificates, kind of like, "Aha, yes!" Like he is Jeremy Irons in Dungeons and Dragons.
I love me some Ghost Rider too.
Let the flames rise up.
I love me some Ghost Rider too. Like a well done Ghost Rider just pops up out of nowhere.
He'd be fun. No, totally. Like
Yeah.
No, and then boom, Nick Cage.
Mac, you're sorry, Dan. What are you doing right now, buddy? And where did that backpack come from?
Well, I'm playing with my solo backpack. Yeah, just
Wait, that's a solo New York backpack?
yeah. You know, it has so many pockets. I'm just trying to unzip them all.
Wait, I've heard about that. Wait, they've been around for a minute, right?
Yeah, I think it's 2008.
I think that's the varsity draft backpack, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's a stylish burgundy. It does have zippers. Mac is proving that. Let me see this guy for a second.
Yeah, no, check it out.
Wait, what
check
do
it
you
out.
have? It's so heavy. What do you have in here?
I can put my laptop in there. Also, I put like my pajamas when I'm flying on a flight.
Legit, within the main pocket, it's got like a laptop compartment, an iPad compartment. It's got room for like 10 pens.
All kinds of things you can
which
put.
I've never seen before, or vape pens, if you like me.
If you're like Matt.
Wait a minute, there's a note in there. Hold on one second. Warren, the note says, if you head to solo-ny.com/ears, you can get 25% off your purchase from over hundreds of designs.
Hundreds.
Hundreds of different designs on this website.
Actually,
dude.
you know what? Actually, we did go on the website, and yes, they have all kind of colors and
different
shapes,
kind of backpacks,
shapes and sizes.
messenger bags and laptops, and the company's been around forever, and they have like a badass logo, and they're from New York. Hey, they're from New
Hey,
York.
we're from New York.
And again, Warren, that's solo-ny.com/ears for 25% off your order.
buy their stuff because, like, for real, we loves.
We loves Solo New York.
Back to Fogler.
Oh, sorry, Dan. Fantastic Four, I'm okay without.
Without it?
They haven't.
I love the
they-
thing, man.
They haven't
Me too,
been,
but
they
they
just
haven't
haven't
been
done
able to
justice.
crack it yet. Like it should be like The Incredibles.
honestly,
a family.
I want the no. The Incredibles was the best Fantastic Four movie.
Right, that's what I mean. That's the way to do it. Is
Yeah.
to make it like not wholesome, but
It's like how Galaxy Quest was the best of the
Make
Next
it
Generation
Star Trek movies.
You know,
Yeah.
It's kind of like sometimes you have to look outside the
gotta
source
keep
material.
it fun. Back to comic books. When was the first comic book you wrote? Did you write as a kid and stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
like when you're like
Yeah,
5,
I wrote.
6.
Yeah, man. I was drawing them at first with my brother. Those are the first ones I made. So we had I love the anti-heroes like Punisher, and so my guy was named Anarchy, and he had
You just learned that word, didn't you?
Right,
back then?
right,
Yeah, you
exactly.
just learned that word.
exactly, and he had I think where I learned it was from. Doesn't in V for Vendetta he has the Anarchy sign everywhere, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think I saw that and I was like, that's a cool symbol. So I had this guy named Anarchy who was basically just a berserker rage pile of muscles. But his thing was he was like a vigilante and he'd stop crime and he'd have this taser on his palm with that symbol and he'd fucking tase your pineal gland. He'd just tase your head and just be like, yeah. So you've been cleansed.
So it's like the most recent Batman, where it's like you've been branded.
Is that what happens?
Yeah. It's like you've been branded.
Did they brand people?
Yeah, he branded people. So they also got like with the Batman seal, and they all got fucked up when they were in prison because
Funky.
they got Batmaned.
Really?
Whoa.
Guys, watch the DCU.
In Dark Knight Rises,
DCCU.
Rises or the cartoon?
No, in the most like not Justice League. So,
the movie?
Yeah, Superman versus
Oh,
Batman.
I never
Batman versus
saw-
Superman.
I never saw that one.
I did see it, and I still don't remember.
You still blocked
Right?
it out.
See,
Yeah.
like, exactly. Like, yeah, like I paid attention, and like actually, honestly, I'm lesser for it.
Shout out to DC Films.
Yeah, I think I'm an inch shorter somehow.
Yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers. It's the same company, and I fucking love. I thought they were like Heath Ledger, his Joker. They were making classy movies, right?
Yeah.
and
the
then
Nolan stuff, yeah.
and then venturing into trying to compete with Marvel. That's what it seems like they're trying to do. Is just,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
They rushed
That's
Justice
what I would
League,
do, but they
right?
just rushed it all.
They
yeah.
rushed it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel took 10 years to do this or more.
I mean, everyone got their own movie, and then boom, we got just Avengers. And even if you didn't watch the previous movies, you can catch up.
What's
Like, you know,
What's crazy?
You
about-
understood that Captain America was a fish out of water. Boom, you knew that right away. You knew that that Iron Man was like a cocky asshole.
But
and you didn't have to
they're
watch the
just
previous
like-
movies.
But it's like they stack the deck or something. They can't lose.
Yes.
Ant-Man, boom. Fucking Deadpool, boom.
anything. Guardians of the fucking Galaxy.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I mean, that was kind of like a fun,
That's great.
side.
James
that
Gunn
was-
has done an
that was the-
amazing
that-
job with that.
Because think about this.
Incredible
out of
job.
every Marvel movie, and a lot of people aren't super familiar with Doctor Strange, let's say, or Black Panther. Even fucking comic book fans didn't know Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little thin. Look at
That was because that was a mini. That book had just kind of started a few years earlier. That was like a late 2000s.
and some of those
comic.
characters were floating around for a
They
while.
all
were,
were,
yeah.
but Rocket Raccoon had only appeared like 4 times before that relaunch.
Groot was like obscure.
Same exact kind of
yeah.
shit. Drax had been around a minute more, but like
Same thing with Gamora. Yeah, Drax has changed a bunch of times.
that
Like,
was Marvel basically being like, we could do whatever the fuck we want and make it great,
And
We made a raccoon
I mean, honestly,
movie
it
the
wasn't
biggest
even
fucking
that. I
thing.
think they just had faith in the concept and they had faith in the creators. And bravo to them, for doing that.
You know what though? To say not to completely fucking tug off Marvel's penis,
Get
or
her-
vagina.
Yeah.
I haven't loved all the Netflix shows. I think it's been kind of a law of diminishing returns, in my opinion.
Yeah, I watched the first season of Daredevil.
Okay.
And I watched half of Jessica Jones, and then I started
Have you
watching
done any
YouTube
of them,
videos.
Dan?
Yeah, I did. Really was digging Daredevil, and then I don't have enough time in my life to fucking binge in order. So I'm just like, fuck, I get the right. Go to Punisher now. So I see a couple of each.
Defenders.
Yeah, I get a taste of it. I can't say I've seen a whole seasons yet.
I've done them. Yeah, man. Like Daredevil's definitely second season of Daredevil is fucking awesome. When it's Kingpin and Punisher.
Yeah.
And D'Onofrio is fucking
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio is
amazing
fucking
on that
great.
show. Like a clinic. And I really like Jessica Jones. I kind of fell off on the second season. Like yeah, it's just been a law of diminishing returns. And they announced, like, we're not doing another Defenders movie because you guys clearly didn't want that or like that. And it was like, good, give us the shit we want. I'm down for them using these characters in a different way and not integrating them into the larger universe if they do fun shit with them. Otherwise, it just feels like, why isn't Daredevil in the Avengers movie?
Yeah.
Right.
It seems like a bummer, right? Like,
Yeah. No, exactly. Like it's one of those things where I have not watched. Obviously, we haven't
All of
watched
them,
the Infinity War movie yet. Right. Pretty sure they're not there.
no, they've announced, like, those are separate universes. And the S.H.I.E.L.D.
No,
thing
no,
is
they're the
separate
same
from
universe.
that. Oh, they're the same universe. Excuse me, you're right. But they just won't interact ever.
Yeah. I think it might be a rights thing with Netflix or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it would have been neat where it's like, yeah, even if it's just like a cameo where it's like they're trying to save people from the streets and like you just see Daredevil and
Well, 'cause it's
Jessica
different.
Jones
Exactly.
like saving people from a bus, even at a passing
All
shot.
the New York characters, Punisher,
because Daredevil, they talk
around
All the
Spider-Man.
non-superpowered.
Daredevil,
yeah.
I mean, like half the plot is about rebuilding New York after the events of the first Avengers movie.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, no, they
You're
exist.
so right
in the
about that. You
same
could have
universe.
just like one scene.
Just a pass. Like nobody even has a
You
line.
could have them all in the same scene.
Just boom,
Yeah.
and then next thing you know, they're like evacuating a church.
Yeah.
Bang a bang.
Here's what's interesting, though. So Marvel's got different levels, right? They have
How do you like that? Fiji,
Fiji. You have the Avengers.
Fahey.
You have the Avengers up top, right? And then you got the Netflix characters, and you go, okay, they're superheroes, but they're not superpowered, and it's more slice of life. And then the cool thing with comic books is it gets down to indie books, which is whatever the fuck you want. So you did a book a few years back. You did a couple of them that were anthology books, right? The Moon Lake stuff.
Moon Lake, yeah.
How did that come about? 'Cause was that your first comic book that you got published and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
How did that feel?
How
dude?
did that feel when
Yeah.
like we actually saw it on the rack
On a
and
shelf,
everything?
because I've still not gotten there. Other than the comics I snuck into Meltdown.
What the?
dork. Banksy.
I wrote free on them, whatever.
What?
I just wanted to take a picture of my comic in a comic book store.
But that's what you have to do, man.
Self-publishing's tough, man. Yeah.
You got to put it on the. You got to go to the airport. You know,
Yeah,
fucking
totally,
put it
man.
in the store.
How did Moon Lake come about?
It really came about from my love of heavy metal and that the anthology and the idea that from heavy metal to movie you could have the Lochnar, which weaves all the different eclectic stories together. I was like, wow, yeah, that's amazing stuff. I want a show like that, you know? So I made this movie just as an experiment called Hysterical Psycho. And I did that movie as an experiment, like as an acting exercise, because I was supposed to be a young Hitchcock in this movie, right? And so I was like, okay, let me get in the mindset and make my own kind of Psycho. And so I made basically Psycho on acid, you know. That's Hysterical Psycho. So, but it takes place at Moon Lake, right? So all these friends go up to Moon Lake. The place makes people go crazy, and one of the guys goes really crazy and kills everybody. And I thought, well, shit, man, if I could tell that story, why couldn't I tell stories from the beginning of human history all the way through the future that happened at Moon Lake? Right?
I can do anything.
I can do anything. And it's just like
Shut up, Mom. You can't tell me what to do anymore.
Look at me now, Dad.
Yeah, and basically, like, you know, and I'm basically making my own anti-Marvel universe now,
Yeah.
of creating all these different characters that are spawned from Moon Lake, and my love of shows like Lost, where you have a place that's displaced from time that's inherently supernatural and fucking weird, and when you go there, you can't leave.
And you can create your own fucking rules as a creator
Yeah.
too, right? Like, yeah, that's awesome, man. So you did two of those.
2 volumes.
Yeah, give us like a couple paragraph like gist of what it is for our kids at home.
Moon Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's still
a universe.
It's still available, right? Moon Lake.
Oh yeah. And
that's what I'm saying.
What's
So, yeah,
happening?
give
Moon,
it to me.
Moon Lake is if you grew up on Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt, heavy metal, amazing stories, you know, stuff that you stayed up too like late to watch. You weren't supposed to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Like my love of heavy metal, you know. Heavy Metal Magazine, like that is this book. So basically, the man in the moon, who is just like a deranged Alfred Hitchcock, it lives in the moon, and he regales the studio audience.
And it's like an anthology kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like it's Twilight Zone.
Yeah, exactly.
He tells. It's also like Hitchcock Presents.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's awesome, and you got a nice hardcover. Did you both of them get
It
the
was,
hardcover?
to answer your question about how did I feel,
Please, yeah.
when I had that in my hand,
The hardcover of your fucking.
and they just got it. Archaea just got it, and they made it feel like holy fuck, this was made in 1976
awesome.
or something.
Yeah.
And just the smell of it, and just like it had the texture of it was so right on. I was weeping.
Did you?
That's so cool,
Did you
man.
run your hands over
all the time.
the page? You know,
Me
the
too.
first page.
The
and
cover of it was just like.
Do you?
I did that with my first book.
Do you
when I
guys-
got published?
Yeah.
And boom, just over the cover a little bit.
Do you guys do
and,
that?
then open up and then the inside paper.
Yeah, Mac.
a
Do you
little
trace
bit
with
and
your
the whole thing.
finger?
It's
'Cause
nice.
I do that. Like I will trace the image with my finger and just like.
Well, I didn't write a comic. I wrote a
Sure,
weird
but
book.
that's what I mean, though. It's just the idea of like, oh man, I made this. It's
Yeah.
a weird like energy exchange thing. you
Yeah.
fucking
Well, that's what I'm
do.
saying. Is I ran my
Yeah.
hand over the cover.
Yeah,
that's,
same
exactly,
thing.
that's exactly what we're saying.
Same fucking thing. My dad.
You could like pet it like a Pomeranian. Like there, look what I did.
I was with my dad recently.
Look at me now, Dad.
and I-
Because it's like a child, you know.
No,
You
totally.
birthed it.
No, exactly. It's a
amazing.
it's a
Yeah,
dolly.
yeah, yeah. No, it's an amazing feeling, and it's something that like you get to physically fucking. Movies is really tough, right? If you wanted to make a movie about a horror anthology with a werebear in it, you need millions and millions and millions of dollars. But like comics are an amazing way to get the craziest ideas out of your head and manifest them into physical fucking form. It's really, really satisfying and cool, man.
Yeah.
You should write a comic, Mac.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We're gonna do that anthology,
it.
the Alan Moore beard.
Yes.
How
We
about
announced it earlier.
How about this? You guys can write a comic, and I'll draw it.
What, do you
Down.
draw, man?
Yeah, he's an artist.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm an
yeah.
artist, but I draw.
I'm so down with
He's
that.
a paint. Yeah.
Let's write
Let's do
Alan
this.
Moore's beard.
Alan Moore's beard, man.
Okay, let's
Story
do it.
tales
Yes,
from inside of Alan Moore's beard. Yeah.
Honestly, I would actually do that.
We don't want to give away any more, but we'll talk about that
But
later.
honestly, yeah. Let's not go too far right now.
So-
but
so-
yes,
and-
Alan Moore's beard.
So, and just we're gonna chat more about comics in general, man. But fucking Brooklyn Gladiator. So how did this come about? This is your new comic, right?
Yeah, we're doing this.
Oh, we're doing Alan Moore's beard. That's why I'm moving off the subject.
I know.
By the way, I just wrote Alan Moore's beard down and mailed it to myself. So
so you
fuck
remember.
y'all. No, so they copyrighted. How did this beautiful book come about, man?
Okay.
Certified mail.
So if you you mentioned, excuse me,
Stoner.
a little bit of that. So the
Go
cover.
on.
Do you recognize the artist of the cover? Like the preacher, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's Glenn
It's Glenn
Fabry.
Fabry, yeah. I
Yeah.
have a preacher cover up in my room. Yeah, that's amazing,
The
dude.
back cover is Simon Beasley,
Wow.
Baller.
who's going to do volume 1, and inside the volume 0 in the very back you see a sneak peek of volume 1. And so Beasley, he drew Lobo. Okay, I love Lobo. I grew up on that, man.
Yeah, I mentioned Lobo, and you responded.
Yeah,
Yes.
you bastish.
yeah.
you bastish.
You bastich. Yeah, you fragging bastich. So this is
Dude, yeah.
this is Simon Beasley. You can, he's done heavy metal. I'm working with these guys that I fucking, as a kid, they got me interested in comic books, and now I'm fucking working with them, man.
That's crazy.
It's just a dream.
Now you get to tell them what to do.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, jerks,
I
draw
mean,
this.
Well, I mean, there's a, you're dealing with
How about this?
masters here. So
How
you gotta-
about how do you do it? Like Marvel method kind of thing. Like how do you actually like
How do you write
do you
your
write
scripts?
something then they draw and then you fill in the
I do a
bubbles?
lot of,
or like how do you guys how do you work it out?
I do a lot of. I work with a co-writer. I do a lot of recording. Like
Nice.
I'll throw on the
Do you give audio?
yeah, hours of just me just being like,
Wow.
okay, so this character's like that in this story, and like
4 in the morning.
yeah, man. You get high and then you get ideas, and
It's like, oh, dude, like boomerang guy, like
yeah, sure,
Toy should die in the first act.
yeah, yeah. There should be a sequence here where this guy shoots spikes out of his eyes, and, whatever the fuck you think.
But so it's a combination of written word and like
yeah,
some audio
and
stuff.
then
Because you give probably line readings, right? Like kind of just like it's
Basically.
kind of like. Well, I'm just saying it's like
Yeah.
you're like don't mess with my mother. You know,
Is that something you said before?
I'm just saying it's like well, I could write "Don't mess with my
I
mother,"
went there.
and it'd be another where it's like don't mess with my mother.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not
I'm
going to
just
hear
saying-
it.
I'm just saying, is that like, so is it kind of like more of a dictated kind of thing? Or are you giving like
What you
line
do
readings?
is you-
So yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you tell me what your process
you
is.
give as much information that you need to convey to get the image in your head across. Like what, like I'd really love to see this. But you have to be malleable when you pass it to someone like a fucking Simon
Of course.
Beasley. Yeah, who you hope is going to put their imprint on it and take it to the next level.
But have you written a synopsis before this and all that kind of stuff, or do you just
You
send
read
him
a- you
a bunch
read-
of drunken things at
read
like
it-
4 a.m.
read-
a bunch of tapes?
No, you
read
take
the
all that.
script,
You take
right?
all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's basically like sculpting.
Where does it start? Even
It's like sculpting. So
Dig it.
so all the recordings, all the outlines, like the pages and pages of like what all the stuff you want to put into this thing, this
Yeah.
universe. That's your materials, and then you take that, you give it to your co-writer,
yeah.
and they put their imprint on it, and you start from fucking page, or you say, okay, at this point, when you get to the point where you start to panel the stuff, it should feel like a movie script
Okay, but when you were pitching it to these guys,
yes,
yes.
to Chapter House.
yes, how did you like? I mean, you didn't just send them a bunch of recordings.
No, fuck no. I basically sent them this. I sent them
A synopsis, though.
40 pages of story,
Gotcha.
and they said, "Oh shit,
And
let's print that."
But it wasn't. But it wasn't drawn out. I mean, you
It
sent
was.
them. It was already.
Yeah, I sent
oh,
them
so you
the-
pitched it already? Like you
I
already
did
had
a
it. You already
fucking-
had
That
it,
is
like,
the
done.
world of
Like,
indie.
Yeah.
That's how indie
Gotcha.
comics work, man.
No,
they
they tell because
They don't pay for the art.
You have to imagine. Yeah, they really want you to have it finished.
That's what I do.
dig it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Rarely will you'll have
Finance,
fucking Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly walk up like a master team. Eduardo Rizzo and Azzarello walk
They'll
up.
pay
like,
for art.
We got an idea, and they're like, "Yes, sir."
there
They'll
you go.
fucking roll out the red
Yeah,
carpet.
but that's true for indie comics, Mac in general. Like you do the art and the. That's why I kickstarted
I'm
my.
asking for the audience even.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
That's why I kickstarted my graphic novel
No,
because
that-
people don't realize how expensive fucking
It's fucking
art
expensive.
is. Tens of thousands of dollars to make a comic
I
book.
was so happy that this is getting printed because this was just a selling tool.
Yeah,
to
because
begin
it's a
with.
prequel, right?
But how'd you communicate to your artists? Did you
Script.
just give them like a script? Well, that's what I'm saying.
said, yeah.
Was it just a bunch of audio recordings?
No, hell no.
Or that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
you take the audio recordings and you write
big-
it. You siphon everything down into a readable script.
Dig
you
it.
know?
So, Mac, it looks like a screenplay. If you split a screenplay in half, the left side is your action only, the description of what's happening, and dialogue, and then the right side, typically, it's how it's done, is where you write your notes for the artist, for example. So, for the way I did it, you'd be like, hey, I want this to happen in this thing, and then on the right side, you include references I like to do, links to images you want it to look like,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, there's like a format for
I
comic
was,
book
I was just
scripts.
asking, exactly what your process was. Look at
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. How do you think you would go about doing it?
Yeah.
Like everyone's got their own thing,
Oh, I mean, my comic.
Yeah. if
Yeah,
you were
Alan
gonna-
Moore's beard. How would you write? How
I
are you
think
writing
we would
your
do
sub story?
Marvel method. Where,
What's the Marvel method?
Where you guys, it's you guys send me a story, and I will draw it, and I'll put bubbles there that are empty.
Very
and then
good.
I send it back to you guys,
And you write it?
Yeah.
and then you guys fill
No,
in the
of course,
bubbles.
yeah. I mean,
that is the Marvel
that really?
method.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No, yeah. I mean, that's hopefully you
There's a
have that
script. No, that's the thing.
collaboration.
Is that that's the thing.
There's
Is
a
that you get
back
a
and
summary and a
forth.
script, and then boom, one person so Stan Lee would write it out, give it
Yeah.
off to Kirby.
Right.
Kirby would draw it out, and then
But what I would love to do with you guys, if we were going to make this thing, is exactly what we're doing, where we record and we brainstorm
Yeah, let's just talk it out.
the
Yeah,
fuck out of it, and you come up with, you really could fill up an entire arc of information for filling out character.
Well, we got hot mics, man. We're
I like
down,
the
yeah.
exquisite corpse kind of quality of like it's
It is.
Yeah, you give it. Yeah, you give it. I give it. You give it. We give, and then boom. Next thing you know. But yes, we can actually do the recording thing.
Yeah.
like we can do we can do the Fogler method.
Yeah, and this,
Yes.
I mean, it's anything goes, really.
Yeah. So
Yes.
speaking of the Fogler method, it netted us Brooklyn Gladiator Volume 0. What is the pitch for Brooklyn Gladiator?
Yeah, tell our kids
Tell
about
us
it.
about the new
Tell
book.
the Warren.
I'm telling the world about Brooklyn Gladiator.
In a world.
In a world.
in Brooklyn.
Did you
With gladiators.
Did you grow up on Akira? Do you like Running Man, Mad Max, Escape from New York? then you're gonna like Brooklyn Gladiator.
Yes to all those things.
So basically, Brooklyn Gladiator.
Sold, sir.
In a world, yes.
In a world. Brooklyn Gladiator, you look at Brooklyn Gladiator, and on the outside, he's this guy who looks like he's...
Frank Castle with a bloodied up Frank Castle.
Yeah, he's like an anti-hero, bruiser, beat him up, fights in death cage matches. But what's happening is that he's having this psychic spiritual awakening. So John Miller, our hero, starts to hone these skills on he has these vivid dreams, these premonitions. He starts to go out on the astral plane, and he uses it to traverse this, New York 2033, which really resembles, Orwell 1984. Mm-hmm. And the citizens are, dumbed down on the best psychedelics, all given by the government, the best tech. Everyone is just basically in a cell of their own minds.
Sold.
Yeah.
Again.
Go, give me some.
Yeah, and our guy John Miller is like, man, everything is redacted and I need some truth. And so he goes on this quest of. He starts off like this bruiser, beat him up, death match, Robin Hood, and then as he gets out of New York, he realizes the rest of the fucking world is mired in a very high-tech World War III, which has been going on for a long time, and nobody in America knows what's at the doorstep. So our guy gets out of America, gets away from the mind-numbing drugs and the tech, and his psychic abilities blossom, often out of control, and he becomes
Whoa.
He becomes Joey Lawrence.
He becomes Joey Lawrence. Whoa. And then Michael J. Fox comes in. Whoa.
Every time I hear Blossom, I have to go, whoa. Just the word.
Now I know. And then Homer goes, don't.
Whoa.
I always wanted the three of them to meet. You have Michael J. Fox, Joey Lawrence, and Homer meeting. Whoa.
An endless loop until the world
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a song, like a Philip Glass song. I digress. So, Brooklyn Gladiator is my homage to all those, action 90s
genres.
That's
I mean,
awesome,
it seems
dude.
like there's some 1984, some Brazil in
Psychic
there.
dystopian,
Brazil.
psychic
Yeah, that's what I'm
dystopian
saying.
warrior shit.
It's director's cut.
It's my Star Wars, man. It's my
Love.
That's fucking awesome, and it's available everywhere. Or?
Yeah, it's out. It's on Amazon. It's on the Chapter House website. It's on shelves in certain.
And what's it called
stores.
again?
Brooklyn Gladiator.
Brooklyn Gladiator.
We'll talk about Brooklyn Gladiator in a moment, but there's a game we like to play on this program. It's an unnamed game. Mac, how would you describe it to our guest, Mr. Fogler here?
I mean, it's a game.
All right, then let's play.
So
you're looking at a chess clock. Warren, you know the game. We were gonna.
you know how a chess clock works?
check out the
so like,
video.
if I hit mine, your time goes down.
Okay.
And if you hit yours, my time goes down.
Okay, I'm already confused.
Right?
Okay.
But
so
you
our
see-
time is going down.
Well,
we didn't
exactly.
start yet,
So
but-
I'm just telling you how the clock works. I'm doing the mechanics. Ah, damn it! No, your clock's going down now.
I'm already lost.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna pick a category. We're gonna pick a category like fish. No, don't worry about the clock anymore.
I'm already
The-
confused
no,
about
no.
the clock.
Distracting him with the clock.
Well, I was trying to tell him how the clock works, the mechanics. All right, so let's
How
say
does the clock work?
so. Let's say the category is
Fish.
types of fish.
Okay.
So I'll say salmon. I'll hit my clock, and yours goes down. You have to name another fish, and then hit
Before
your
my
side.
clock goes down?
Yeah, exactly. So name another fish.
Goldfish.
Yeah, exactly. Trout. Looking at.
Okay. Right, snapper.
So okay, so you got the game right. So I'm
I
not
think
saying.
so.
Yeah, no.
As long as
you were playing
as
it
long as
perfectly.
we just do fish.
So let's.
What's
let's
an appropriate category for this week? Gentlemen, would you don your ceremonial
sure.
game ears if you would, please?
Oh. Yep. Of course I can.
Thank you. So it's official. And Mac, what do you think? You want to do something comic book related? Do you
I
wanna...
know we already did.
I
comic
probably
book
need another
characters,
hit
though.
of. Let me see that.
Yeah, go
I
for
have
it.
to get
man.
in the right mindset.
Well, Mac
Have we done bands? Have we done like a?
Shouldn't we do like superheroes or something or superpowers?
Well, we already did
or-
comic book characters.
Superpowers is good.
Superpowers.
Superpowers.
He's gonna quickly load up on his superpower, which is sativa, real quick, and we'll get into a round of superpower.
Because we already did
game.
superhero characters
With Kevin Smith.
With Kevin Smith,
And you beat
he beat you
him.
to it. Yeah.
And you beat him at the game.
I know. I fucking got my nerd cred there.
What are you gonna do?
You beat Kevin Smith at that?
And
comic book
Star
characters.
Wars characters.
And Star Wars and Star Trek
People
characters.
don't know this kid's. People go, "Where's Mac been for the last 20 years?" Watching Star Wars and reading comics.
Yeah, and reading comics, pretty much.
All right, we ready, gentlemen?
So just like super.
So I hit yours when I get
So
something?
yeah, you once you start, no, you hit your own.
Okay.
So you name a superpower and then shebang.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Flight.
Super strength.
Super speed.
Invisibility.
Laser vision.
Immunity.
Healing.
I was gonna say that one too. Controlling the weather.
Crazy rock skin.
Stretchy limbs.
X-ray vision.
Being on fire.
Medusa hair.
Being on ice.
Leg tentacles.
Having claws for hands.
Can talk to fish.
Magic.
I can shape shifting.
Vibranium suit with claws.
Able to bite the buildings in half.
What are you talking? Bow and arrow. You dork. So this game's actually harder than you think.
It really is after that hit. Okay, so
I said bow and arrow. It's your turn.
right. Okay, claws.
I already said that.
Adamantium claws.
Okay, fine. Jeez. Telepathy.
Porcupine spines.
Telekinesis.
Chameleon ability.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Being a crocodile.
Spider sense.
Nice. Ooh, I already did a bunch of those things. Being infected by gamma radiation and being super strong.
Rhino sense.
No. You're retarded. I mean, R-worded.
That's a superpower too.
Having weird abilities, Scarlet Witch. Just being weird.
Tiger sense.
Okay, listen. Now you're just making some shit up.
They made a whole show about tiger sense.
Taking cocaine, like Snowflame. Yeah, some of those kids are gonna love this out there.
Thundercats.
Wait, no. You have to name a power. You have to name a power that the Thundercat has.
Right. Okay. Ram's horns.
That's not a power. Shoot them out of you. Your clock is still going, dude.
It's going really fast now.
I know. Now you have a 1/10 of a second hand.
Stopping time.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That kind of worked.
Yeah, no, I like that one.
you have that power.
Yes.
Teleportation.
The power to just seduce.
Yeah, actually. Evolution, like Darwin.
Oh, you evolution. Luck.
Ooh, like Longshot,
Yeah.
who I love.
Yeah.
You're bad luck.
Yeah.
Plant manipulation.
Vulture wings.
I said, angel wings.
Screeching sound effects from your face.
from your face. You mean banshee powers? Yeah, banshee powers.
Disco lights.
See, I know what you're doing, and I like it a lot.
Dazzler.
I like it a lot. Absorbing other people's powers.
Stinky smell.
Being an alien from outer space, and like you're also a robot. Deathhead.
Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Wearing a robot suit.
Be able to eat cats.
Giving your friend a robot suit. And time. It only by 11 seconds.
Wow.
11 and a half seconds.
I think he
That was a
won
close
earlier
one.
though.
That might be my favorite version of the game. Yeah.
Rhino horns.
Tiger sense.
Rhino.
The ability to bite a building in half. If that's not an endorsement for Brooklyn Gladiator, we don't know what is, guys.
This is the man we're talking to.
Brooklyn Gladiator by Mr. Dan Fogler and Tom Hodges, now out in comic book stores by you.
Everywhere.
On the Amazon. at chapterhouse.ca. It's
Thanks, guys.
Wait, it's a Canadian company?
Yeah.
Ew. No, I'm just kidding.
We're
We love
joking.
you, Canada.
Chapterhouse.canada.
We actually love it.
You have your own podcast?
Yes.
The Dan Fogler 40
Experience podcast.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
And you guys should come on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Call in or whatever.
Yeah, we're
Pod.
totally down, man. We'll
Fuck
go
yeah.
quid pro pod. And who's some of the guests you've had on that?
Man, we've had some people from Fantastic Beasts. Got Eddie Redmayne, Alison Sudol was on it. I had Bob Odenkirk was on the. Wow. Kevin Smith came on.
Did they ask about me?
They did, man. Each and every single one.
Yeah. Cool.
They were really. They were like wanting to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Did you interview that cute porcupine monster from Fantastic Beasts? What's his name? Niffler or whatever?
The Niffler, yes.
Yeah, I love the Niffler.
The Niffler's tough because he's like a harpo. He doesn't really talk much. So he's like there's a lot of slapstick.
Fair enough.
And then me describing what was going on. He's doing something real funny, folks. He's got something shiny now.
And that's available on all the podcast things.
What's it called again?
iTunes, Dan Fogler's 40 Experience Podcast.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
Check that out, folks. And then you're in a little film coming out soon.
What's it called?
Which one? It's called Fantastic Beast. That one.
That one. Yeah.
Gigantic.
The
film?
one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, it's out November
And
16th.
it's Grindelwald's Revenge or no?
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Also, the first one is my favorite of the Harry Potter films, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Wow.
And you are so fucking great in it, dude. That it
honestly,
warmed
you
my
actually did really good
You
work.
steal that movie, and it warmed my heart. That I was like, oh, I got high with that guy and did a podcast once, and now look at him.
It's like don't
Now
erase
look
his
at him.
memory.
You guys are so nice.
No, honestly,
You're great,
Honestly,
great,
I was,
great in
I
those
was,
movies, man,
I was
honestly.
actually proud of your work, and I had no reason to be proud. And I was honestly, you did good work.
Oh my God.
Great
Yeah.
great
Okay,
stuff.
I'm gonna stop jerking you off. All right.
And you've made your
Wait, just one little
Okay,
more.
just
Almost there.
perfect. That one scene.
other than the biggest movie ever, you've also made
With the lizard.
You made some of your own films, right? You made a movie a couple years back or a few years ago. Is that still available?
It's called Don Peyote.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hysterical Psycho and Don Peyote are available on, I guess, iTunes. It's floating around.
Do it,
There you
guys.
go.
And you're where are you online on all the things?
At Mr. Dan Fogler on Twitter, Dan Fogler Instagramming, and those are the places where I'm.
That's where they should find you.
Coke, where you at?
Oh, I'm at the Incredible Coke or Incredible Coke.
Okay.
On the
Twitter.
Twits. Yeah, I know. You have to hold my hand through some of this. And Instagram, I'm Cocamania.
Catch it.
Yeah, catch the Cocamania.
I'm Camel Toad on the things. You can check the show out. We're Bunny Ears Pod on Twitter, Bunny Ears Podcast on Instagram. Go to bunnyears.com. We got stuff up every day. We got videos and shit on the YouTube.
Yeah, the webs is great too. Check out bunnyears.com.
Oh, yeah, and at Bunny Ears Web on all the things. And then call us, y'all. Warren, we need to talk to you.
Yeah, we need some more.
845-EZE hoax. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it at the end of the show. Was Eazy-E real? Call us and find out.
I don't know. Find out.
845-EZE hoax. And that's another edition of Bunny Ears.
Yay,
a
us.
super powered edition of Bunny Ears.
Listen, let's all put our hands in the middle.
On three,
Yeah.
Alan Moore's beard.
1, 2, 3.
Alan Moore's beard.
Mr. Dan Fogler, thank you so much, sir, for coming
Yes,
by.
thank you, Fogler.
Berserker Rage.
Berserker Rage.
We're into it.
I want to leave you guys with that.
We'll take
Yeah.
it. Mac, what do we leave? What do we leave him with at the end of every show?
Well, try not to suck too many dicks, and if you do, send pics.
And do it in a
and we'll
Berserker
post them.
Rage. Yeah,
and doing
yeah.
the Berserker Rage.
Berserker.
Find me, gag me, take me to the bunny ranch. Find me,
What up? It's your boy Jared from Wichita, middle of nowhere, Kansas, making some Belgian waffles. Listening to you guys talk about international travels, I feel so cultured right now. Hit me up if you guys ever want to go to Iceland. I'll be your awkward third wheel. That would be fun, right? Right? I'd love to meet Stu Miller. Anyway, so guys, see ya.
Hey, what's up, dudes? It's Derek again. I just listened to your travel episode. I thought Stu's story was going to end up in Germany with that woman taking him home and seducing him. But some creepy thing about maybe like a misery situation where they tortured people. Anyway, just thought I'd call since you guys are having a phone line. Anyway, thanks for the show, and talk to you guys later. All right, bye.
Hey, Matt, it's Pat. I'm calling from the only blockbuster video left in America up here in Anchorage, Alaska. And we've had a resurgence on thefts of the Page Master and the movie Idle Hands for some reason. I was told maybe you could explain that. All right, well, give me a call back. Shucks, I'm dead.
A Bunny Ears LLC production.
You are freaking lumberjack!